Okay, in this video, I'm gonna explain to you guys how to get a set of abs. I'm gonna take you guys through some of my training tips and other equally, if not more important things you need to do when trying to build a six-pack. Well-developed abs improve the aesthetics of your physique significantly. And like other muscles, they require progressive resistance training to grow. But unlike other muscle groups, your abs rely on how lean you are, more than how big they are in terms of their visibility. So although training abs is important, it does at the end of the day come down to your body fat percentage on whether you will see them or not. So first of all, your midsection is made up of your obliques, the rectus abdominis, which is basically the six-pack itself, and the transverse abdominis, which is responsible for core stability and core control. So basically, how well can you flex your abs? They all require different types of training. They all play their own role in the overall aesthetics of your midsection. Your abs do require isolation movements, do require isolated training to grow. Although your compound movements and your overall training will involve your abs, this is only to a minimal extent. So you won't fully maximize your core potential in terms of its strength and appearance if you just rely on your overall training to grow your abs. But having said that, this is a sufficient amount of training to actually make your abs visible at a low enough body fat percentage. So technically you don't need to train abs and you could still get away with a fully visible six-pack if you are a low enough body fat percentage. But I would advise that you do train them for better core strength, which is really important, and for more visible abs. Just like you wouldn't rely on a bench press to grow your triceps, although it would, you shouldn't rely on your compound lifts in your overall training to grow your abs, although it does. So to grow a muscle effectively, to isolate the contraction, and to allocate as much intensity to the muscle as possible, isolation movements are required. In other words, if you want to have better defined abs, you should train your abs instead of relying on your overall training to do the job. So let me start off with the six-pack muscle itself. I try train abs 2 to 3 times a week, whenever I can fit them in really. I don't have a specific schedule or days that I do them, and because I'm pressed for time, I'm a big fan of circuit training for abs because one, it's effective in growing your abs, and two, it's time efficient. So typically I split every ab session into 2 separate circuit styles. One is body weight core exercises, which is basically just exercises involving your body weight. And the other would be a weighted core session. So weighted core exercises. So the first session, I do 4 rounds of body weight core exercises. So I start off with a body weight crunch. I try get 15 reps. Then straight away I'd move on to a body weight leg raise. And again, try get 15 reps. Let your abs bring up your legs. Don't use momentum, don't swing, slow and controlled, making sure the muscle does the work. And then straight after the leg raises, I'd go on to a plank. I'd try hold it for 30 seconds and then repeat that 4 times with little to no rest between rounds. And then for my weighted core session, I'd do only like 2 rounds, considering it's weighted and heavier loads. So I'd start off with a great crunch variation, and that's the rope cable crunch. I'd really focus on form here, getting a stretch in at the top and crunching with my abs and squeezing the crunch. So I try aim for around 10 to 15 reps. Then once I've failed within 10 to 15 reps, I'll straight away move on to a weighted floor crunch. So I'd pick up like a kettlebell or a plate and place it behind my head and basically crunch with the weight up. These are quite difficult, but again, I'd try aim for 10 to 15 reps here. And once I've failed, I then move on to hanging knee raises. So although these aren't weighted, it's another way to target your lower abs. I'd try finish off with 10 to 15 reps, and then I'd repeat this little to no rest 1 more time. Again, the core is like any other muscle group, so it requires progressive overload. So make sure you're increasing the reps in your crunches and your leg raises over time, and you're increasing the time you hold the plank for over time. These mixes of leg raises, crunches, and planks ensures that you're hitting your upper and your lower abs, and is all you need to build that six-pack. Next is your transverse abdominis. And the best way to develop your transverse abdominis is by doing vacuums. So every morning, fasted, I do a few sets of vacuums and just basically suck in my belly. I can't really explain how to do it. You just got to practice and just hold it for as long as I can and do a few sets of those. If you can control and master the vacuum, over time you'll have much better core stability and core control, meaning you have better control over how to actually flex your midsection, and significantly improves the aesthetics of your physique. It will have a positive effect in ensuring that you keep a tight waist, which again is very important for the V-tapered look of your physique. You want to have a tight waist, and vacuums are a perfect way in helping you achieve that. Then there are your obliques. Overdeveloped obliques, or developed obliques, depending on how big your waist actually is, can lead to you having a blockier waist than you might want, and this will obviously impact the aesthetic look of your physique. So I would not recommend you train obliques, but if you naturally have a small waist, if you want to dial in those obliques, then go for it. Side crunches on your leg raises, you can do some side bends with the dumbbell. But yes, abs are made in the gym, but they are revealed in the kitchen. We all fell for this get abs in 5 minutes with this workout scam. You cannot spot reduce fat. You can do 1,000,000 crunches a day. If your body fat percentage is not low enough, your abs will still be invisible. Holding a plank for 1,000,000 seconds is not going to give you a six-pack if you're not lean enough. So if your goal is to build muscle, upping your body fat percentage ever so slightly to optimize for muscle growth, then don't be sad if you can't really see your abs as much. But still train your core, okay? It's still important to have good core strength and to develop your abs so that they can be visible at those higher body fat percentages. And if you're eating clean, if you're main gaining and lean bulking, you'll still see your abs. But if you're like 20% body fat, although deep down behind all the fat you are growing your abs, they won't be visible unless you lose body fat. But don't you dare try cut before you have tried to gain muscle. You don't want a six-pack and be skinny. Just focus on building muscle, still training your abs, and that will work out better for you than if you were to just try go on a crazy cut before you even try to build any muscle. But if you do have a sufficient amount of muscle, if you've been lean bulking, main gaining for 4 years plus, and you're ready to cut down, yes, your abs will slowly start to reveal more. And if you have trained them all those years, then they will be even more defined than if you didn't train them. So when you decide to finally cut down and get leaner, you want to make sure you trained your abs beforehand so that your abs will look that much more chiseled when you finally decide to cut. So train them to grow and lose fat to see them. I made a video on how to lose fat, so click that if you want to get any tips, ideas on how to actually lose fat. So remember, don't train your obliques, do your vacuums. And although training your abs is very important, and although they will grow, you still need to be lean enough for them to be seen. So that's the end of the vid. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please drop a like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If you have any video suggestions, what you want to see me talk about, leave them in the comments as well. I'll be coming out with a video very soon. But until then, peace.